Hey, this is Eve of BitcoinKindergarten.com, DeFiKindergarten.com. I haven't been on those websites in forever, but I do own them. Welcome to the channel. Hit the subscribe, the bell button, the like, and all. And then you can get notifications whenever I go live. And you're welcome to come ask any question whatsoever. It can be the very simplest, stupidest question, or it can be something very complicated. This is kindergarten, and that's what I'm here for. I'm your kindergarten teacher. So I want to talk about the mindset because if you're watching this today, you probably have experienced the last week of Elon Musk Bitcoin crash, entering the bear market, extreme fear in the crypto markets. And anyway, a lot of getting into crypto and making money in crypto has a lot to do with mindset. I always did really well. And so I'm always so shocked when I hear people losing money, this and that. So I'm always trying to figure out, what they did. And I think the number one and maybe the only possible way to lose money is panic selling, which, millions, hundreds, thousands of people just did this week. I mean, we could be entering a bear market and it might have been a right choice. But if you have a long-term strategy, that's way better. So I just want to talk about mindset. And I guess the number one mindset is to have a strategy. Everyone should read this book. It's called Turtle Trader. I get it on Audible because I don't actually read. I just listen. And it's the 30-year-old trading book. It's a classic of trading. And it talks a lot about how to think about the numbers, when to go into a market and when to go out. It's just very interesting. And what I got from that a lot was, when you're trading money, you don't need to be thinking about it as money. You need to be thinking about it as numbers or any other abstract concept, because what happens to a lot of people, they're like, oh my God, I just lost $5,000, or even conversely, oh my God, I just got won $10,000. I'll say one. I just increased my wealth by $10,000. And, you get so euphoric. Then you go crashing. I mean, a lot of the crypto is like very high emotions, and that is part of the market because it's very high risk, very high reward. So read the Turtle Trader if you get the chance. But basically it's like you need a strategy going in, and you need to have decided before Elon Musk comes out and says crypto uses a lot of energy and the whole crypto community goes crazy and it's a big battle and it's like insane. The prices of every crypto were tanking like crazy yesterday. They're coming back today. So that's amazing, right? But I mean, this has been a few days of a lot of drama in the crypto world, and it's on the news. It's been some very bad news for crypto in the past few days. So what are you going to do when that happens? What I do is, actually yesterday I went and built a fire out near the forest and just sat there and made some phone calls, did a little work from there. Like I got a little, I was a little depressed because I was getting ready to cash out some money and do some other investments. But, kind of interfered with my day for sure. So I just went out there because I was super stressed out. And, being stressed out doesn't help anything. So I actually wrote some stuff down. I'm just going to go through it. Read Turtle Trader. That's very good. And so basically you want to get into markets as they're rising. In crypto, it's a little different. You can buy when it's on the floor. In a company, the difference between a cryptocurrency and Apple corporations, when Apple's in the floor, it's because Apple has done a lot of stuff wrong and, it's like a disaster. Usually when crypto's on the floor, it's just about the market itself. It's not really something to do with the actual Bitcoin having a bad performance, because Bitcoin always performs the same. There's no CEO, nobody owns it. So it's different in that way. But generally, you want to get in the beginning of a rising trend, and then, when it does start to go out, you want to go out. But that's for day trading. I don't day trade. I get in there and I huddle. I tell you all the time, like, just take profits. When it gets real high, you feel it's high, you need to take a little bit of profits out. When you made a lot of increase, just take a little bit out here, a little bit out there, and you can also take it out as it's going down. I mean, the markets do go up and they do go down. We've been going up for months, and most people in the market still seem to think that we're going up. So I'll go along with that. I'm the kind of person, like, even if it all went like to hell yesterday and stayed there, you know, I'm prepared to take it for a whole year or 2 years or however long it takes, because, you know, as long as there's no technical problem with Bitcoin, which there has not been in 13 years, I'm fine with my Bitcoin. It's only going to go up because of the scarcity principle. So that's my strategy. My strategy is HODL. My strategy is take some profits along the way, so that actually if it did go to zero, I'm still on top, you know, because when you HODL Bitcoin, you can get super rich. I'm just saying, don't even worry about it. You know, Bitcoin's crashing, go do something else. Don't think about it, you know, unless you're a day trader, which is ridiculously risky in crypto. Because there are these things like Elon Musk can tweet something and it can affect the market. So that's a lot of insecurity. So have your strategy. That's really the most important thing. And then that way, like yesterday, I was kind of bummed. I was like, oh, you know, lost a substantial amount of gains, and not just in Bitcoin, but all the other coins too. And I'm just like, well, you know what? If it ended today, I made money in the market because I have, you know, bought some things I needed to buy and used that money for some things that I needed to use it for. So I started with very little money. I started like buying like $10 worth of Bitcoin sometimes. That's why I make videos on it. Like literally, I think everybody should be doing it. If you're not, I don't know what you're doing. You know, you can really get rich by putting in $10 here, $10 there, $100 here, $100 there. Okay. The most amazing, great thing for your mindset, which all of the people will tell you, is meditate. So any kind of meditation you can do. I just got back to my listening to the fan meditation, which I got from Abraham Hicks. But I also do guided meditation, self-hypnosis meditation. So it's very important for your mind to go into these states of parasympathetic nervous system calming response. It's good. You have to calm down your nervous system on a regular basis and kind of teach it to stay calm. So huge amounts of very successful people meditate, especially people with huge corporations. And the bigger your life gets, or the more money you have or whatever, the more you kind of need to meditate, because it can be very stressful. But that's really the key to everything, is just meditate and keep your mind. It will help you when you do the meditation. It's just like doing ab exercises, which you can do with me. See my link. You know, you're building up your abs every day. You don't just do abs one day. You know, over time, you're getting very strong abs. So when you're doing any kind of meditation, whatever kind you like, could be yoga, could be walking in the forest. I mean, it's better to really do one where you really get your brain waves very slowed down. Then, you know, when you're going crazy because your crypto just, you know, went nuts, or you're getting ready to make a huge deal, or you're getting ready to take a big amount of profits, you just have to, you know, if you meditated, then you are already practiced in being in this calm state. Next, which I think is for me, you know, remember to enjoy life along the whole ride, because if we're in crypto, I mean, we like the excitement, we like the technology, but basically we're trying to gain wealth and more wealth, because it's this one amazing chance of a lifetime market where you can get a lot of money right now. So, but in the meantime, always be enjoying life, you know, even on every day, find a way to enjoy your life and to not put your life on hold. I totally do that. So I'm preaching to myself right now, like, okay, well, when I get this, then I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to move here, and I'm going to do these things, you know, and in the meantime, just on lockdown, you know, whatever, you know, it's not, you know, super exciting life, really. So you know, for one, Charlie Shrimp said this on Twitter today. You can die today, or you can go to prison, or you can lose all your money. So any day, you know, the things that we're waiting for can come to an end. So we really need to enjoy our life every moment that we possibly can, you know, even if that's just trying to find the feeling of happiness inside. So the reason why we want to get richer is so that we can do things that we think are going to make us more happy, which I'm sure they will. But they don't bring the actual happiness, they just help it. So, but if you're already practiced in feeling happy now, then you really have like the end result of what it is you want all of this, you know, money for, except for, you know, helping people too. But helping people, you know, why do you want that? Because you're going to feel better. You're going to feel relief when people, you know, aren't suffering or whatever. So whatever way you can, just try to at least enjoy some part of every day. I'm very into just like listening to the birds, looking at the sky, getting pleasure out of small things. Trying to make contacts with human beings, things like that, instead of just being on Twitter all day. Okay. So panic selling is really the number one reason people lose money. Most people do this. So the market starts crashing like yesterday. Elon Musk tweets. A lot of times there's going to be other different kinds of bad news. Like, Bitcoin did totally tank when the stock market crashed. Bitcoin tanked when there was like a bit of a fake news that was like there was a double spend on the blockchain, which would mean there was an error in the blockchain, which is what our whole system is based on, is our blockchain being, completely 100% automated with no errors. And so, when that happens, don't sell, especially when there's like an Elon Musk thing, personally, I think I don't know, is he just like tweeting, with impulsivity or maybe I think he was just trying to put some ideas out there. Well, who knows what he was trying to do, but he could have been, trying to tank the market so that him and his friends can buy low. That happens a lot. I'm not saying Elon does it, but other people do it. These whales, you can have a big sell-off, or even, I don't know if they create rumors, but they could, theoretically. So the market's tanking and then they all buy it up low. That's pretty much what's going on, which is why I haven't felt like it's going to go too low. I really don't think Bitcoin will ever go back to $3,000, which it was only a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was 5,600 at the stock market crash. I don't think it will ever go back there, because now there are corporations and now there are hedge funds and people are still onboarding. So that's another way to control your crypto mindset. To plug my computer in, is to read like positive news. Okay, so what I do, like yesterday, I go and read a couple of people who I respect, and they were like, a lot of people said that the numbers look good in the chart, so that was great. And some people said the numbers look great in the charts, like we're on the verge of an epic bull run. This may or may not be true. Nobody really knows. That's the thing. You go read and listen to people, but also with the knowing that they don't really know. You might know as much as they do. Everyone's getting it wrong, and a lot of people are just more tricky at covering up when they get it wrong. But I'll read good news about crypto, and then actually I was thinking about this, is that, all publicity is good publicity. So it's in the news, Bitcoin tanks because Elon Musk, is fighting with the Bitcoin community, Like, that sounds like terrible news, but underneath that is the principle that all publicity is good publicity. So over the last few months, I think there's very few people in the United States and Western countries and maybe on Earth who don't know what Bitcoin is. So that is good. Even though it's temporarily bad news, in the long run, it's very good news. Like, many famous people have become famous from bad publicity. So, but Bitcoin deserves it. Let's see. Panic sell. So also when you need to control your mindset when you want to go buy. This is a thing for me. Fear of missing out, FOMO. Like when a coin is going up really fast. What was it I wanted to buy? I wanted to buy one. I was like, oh, it's going up so fast. Oh, Cardano is one. It's really going up a lot. There are others. It's going up really fast. You're like, oh, Shiba coin, Shiba Inu. You want to buy? I totally FOMO'd into Dogecoin, but I did it a little bit. Before SNL, knowing that there was a possibility that went through the roof. It didn't, and I knew it probably wouldn't, but I was like, I didn't want to miss that moment, So say when one of your coins starts going up really high, you want to buy a whole bunch. Like I often do it. It's pretty hard not to do it, but that's not really the time to buy. Really the time you should have already bought it, or maybe you're going to wait for the dip, because usually things spike and then they come back down. They might spike and come back down and keep going up. So you might not you can't wait that long, in the dip, but you just wait for a little dip or something. I don't worry too much about FOMO because I don't do it that much. And I think in crypto, it's generally, in crypto, the things just keep going up. Frankly, I tried to sell some of my altcoins the altcoins totally peaked this summer and I didn't sell. And I was like, oh, I should have sold last summer when I made so much money, so much increase on the price. And then I looked today, and even though it's down, it's spiked up again and now it's down again, but it's that little price spike, now is just like a little blip. Like they've gone up like 10, 15, 20 times since then. So sometimes, we just don't know how the markets are going to go. So you just have to keep like a level head, try not to get too upset about it. In the turtle trader, they're actually, you don't think of it as money, you just think of it as numbers, stuff like that. You don't get into the emotions of losing money. I personally say that women are better at trading than men, because I find that men get very upset when they lose money. I think women, we like money just as much, but we don't get like emotionally like tied to it. A lot of the male of the species is a little more tied into money than we are. So they get like more, see them crying like babies on Twitter, Let's see. Don't listen to other people. Don't go on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, everybody's like, oh, the bear market's here, the bull market's over. Look, everybody ruined it. People just like drama and get into the moment. That's just a moment, Nobody really knew what was going to happen, and we still don't. I personally feel like the market bounced back pretty decently. Let's see. Okay, tune into your intuition. Oh, don't talk to negative people. So if you're in crypto at all, there's most people you don't even want to tell them about it until you get like a whole lot of gains, and then you can just gloat, because then they'll come around and be like, oh, I should have listened to you. But don't even tell your friends who give you a negative response, like just don't mention it to them again, and don't tune in. Like I like Ivan on Tech. He's my guru, because every time he gives like hopium and FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Like he likes to keep it balanced. So, that's how I like it too. But certainly don't, if people are super negative about crypto and Bitcoin, don't follow them, don't listen to them, and don't tell them anything about your portfolio or that you're thinking of getting into it. Most people, so when I got in like 4 years ago, 99% of people were like, oh, it's a bubble, less gambling, this, people still say that. But you're like, I'm taking my chances, because I was broke, when I started, and Bitcoin totally changed my life. Almost anybody who's in crypto, for a little while, we all say the same thing. Bitcoin changes your life. It changes the way you think. It changes everything, and it's amazing. Changes for the better, although you do have to learn how to deal with the stress. So, okay. So if you tune more into your intuition, and intuition isn't just like a magical psychic ability, which I do believe it's that too, but it's, you know, we have a lot of stored knowledge in our brain. We have a lot of observations, things that we've noticed. And if we really turn into our inner knowing, a lot of times, you know, we've collected this information and it will help us make better decisions. So try not to make a decision in a panic moment. And troubleshoot your own personal stress triggers. So mine, you know, I finally got some help with taxes and finances and stuff. That used to be my trigger. Well, it still is. It was like, oh, I'm going to end up in jail. You know, so my mom used to say that, you know, when I was a kid. She'd be like, you're going to end up in jail. And I took it, I didn't know it was like a metaphor, you know, I thought it was really going to happen. And it did, you know, just temporarily. But you know what I mean? Like you have these things in your mind, they can really manifest in life and just overnight. So, but it's like, that's my fear. The reason I'm telling you mine is like, you can figure out whenever you get scared and nervous and stressed out about your crypto, what is your thoughts that are going on behind that? And mine would generally be like, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to end up broke. I'm always doing something stupid. You know, whatever thoughts you have about your abilities. Troubleshoot them and just start to notice what they are. And then you can do work around that. You can do a lot of amazing work on like getting rid of limiting beliefs, it's called. It's amazing and it can help you a lot. Frankly, I do believe in all that money mindset thing. Read all the books, watch all the podcasts, because mine did correlate with getting a lot of success and wealth. Like the more that I kind of focused on that and got rid of some of those blocks, stuff like that, learn to meditate. And then you have to, when the bull market first hit, like I was so stressed out. So I had just been putting away my nickels and dimes. And then all of a sudden, poof, you know, it was like a substantial amount of money, although it was just numbers on the screen of my phone. It wasn't actual money, you know, until you cash out, it's not money. So, that stressed me out a lot. It brought up a lot of fears. It's called the terror barrier. So sometimes even when you're doing well, you have to really manage your emotions because you're not going to be used to it. It's very hard to change from one level of life into another. And if you get into crypto, that's probably what's going to happen, you know, unless you panic sell, and then you'll probably make money, but you might not make life-changing money, you know, but huge amounts of people are making life-changing money. And, you know, if the market did go to zero, I wouldn't have made life-changing money. I would have just made some money, you know, enough that I got something that I really needed to get. So, you know, troubleshoot yourself, watch all that positive stuff. It really helps a lot. You know, there's really no way to lose in crypto if you keep your wits about you. You study, you don't get too greedy. I mean, high risk, high reward. I don't like the word greed, but it is a word in trading. I do a few risky things, but I do that with money that I already made somewhere else. Like I do like with the meme coins, I have ALTCOIN. I just bought some Bonfire on PANCAKE SSWAP. You can see my video on how to do that. Because you can make really fast, ridiculously fast profits. It is a little bit like a pyramid scheme, but I think it's interesting and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I'm very practical. So I made the Australian Safe Shepherd, the ALTCOIN. I made a whole bunch. Actually, I bought it and then it went down. And it was down for a really long time. In fact, it was my biggest loss in crypto, but it was only 2 or 3 weeks, but it seemed like forever. And then poof, you know, one day I looked at my phone and it was up like 10 times for what I bought it for. So that was amazing. You know, so that was within a few weeks. You could take $100 and make it 1,000, or you could take $1,000 and make it 10,000. So that's fun. But, you know, I'm very practical. I take my profits out because I'm just practical. I'm not totally practical because I put every penny of my money into crypto, and I let my credit cards ride. I paid my minimum payments, but I did not pay my credit cards off, and I still haven't. I could pay them off right now if I wanted to, but I have a hard time selling my crypto because I feel like we're still in the bull market. We're still going up. So, you know, here's the thing about the stress though. I'm like, I plan in my mind like, okay, well, what if the bull market's over and then I still owe so much money on my credit cards? You know, what am I going to do? And I just come up with a plan. You know, my plan is just other ways to actually work and get extra money, which I'm going to go do now because I want to buy back my Polkadot. I sold a lot of my Polkadot for Doge before SNL show, and then right after that, Polkadot starts going through the roof. I already made tons of money in Polkadot. I bought Polkadot like 7 months ago before most people had ever heard of it. So I already made like huge amounts of profit. So even then, I'm still good, but I missed my Polkadot, and right after that, it really started going up. I'm really into, right now, I think the big moves are going to be in the quality altcoins, which they are, which is this Matic, Polkadot, Kusama, synthetics. Well, that's just today. Like every day, it's something different. But of the ones that I own, there are other ones that I don't own, so I don't really, I'm not on top of them so much. AAVE, Anchor, amazing. It's like one you never hear of because it's so boring, but it does really well. I think Chainlink, Cosmo. What else? Maker. What else? Utrust, Sora. Can't remember all the names. Anyway. I feel like the next wave, I mean, people are still getting into Bitcoin, but you know, now the banks and corporations, everybody's coming into crypto and decentralized finance, and these things that almost nobody knew what they were. I mean, still, who's ever heard of Kusama and Polkadot? Most people haven't, but so it's still low, even though I bought it like way low. Sometimes you can buy like something for $50, and then a few months later, it's worth like $5,000, $6,000. So get into crypto, study in Ivan on Tech Academy. I have a link to sign up for it there. I studied there a little bit, and it's really worth it to study blockchain. Like, I'm not a techie, I'm not good at math, and I'm not in finance. I just really find it interesting, and I have the good fortune to be like obsessed with studying a blockchain and following it and understanding developments and investing in it. And it's really worth it. This is I do feel it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's like the gold rush in California, literally. And I was out there with my pick, you know, as soon as I heard there was gold, even though, you know, maybe there were no ladies there, maybe everybody in the gold rush was 20 years old. I'm like, I don't care, I'm going, you know, because anyone can do it. And I had a terrible brain injury like a year and a quarter ago, very bad. I couldn't remember any password. I couldn't read for a few months. I'm still do well in crypto. So if I can do it, you can do it. Anyone can do it. Just master your mindset, stay calm, have a strategy, do your best. Like the reason I started live streaming is because one day I realized, wow, I did really well. I was like, it's a combination of common sense, just having a certain wisdom about how things work in the world and how humans work, and psychology, different things like that helped me a lot. And just knowing, you know, the future, like understanding a little bit how the future works. And I mean, come on, just because all these Warren Buffett's like, oh, it's no good. I mean, that's a sign that it's great. You know, he's Warren Buffett. You know, what does he know about blockchain? Like nothing. You know, all these guys coming out, oh, it's no good. And then you see all the young kids like, wow, this is great. I mean, clearly let's go with the future. That was a no-brainer. We'd be as practical as we can, and we'd be as sensible as we can, but yet don't stay on the sidelines. Get some polka dot. It's going back up. It's already got back up. I was happy when it dipped. I'm like, I'm going to go out and do some extra side hustles to get some more money to buy back some of my polka dot. And because I didn't sell my Doge, I do believe Doge will go to $1. So I'm like having a decent sized Doge bag. All right, that's all I have to say. Put your questions below. I'm giving away my crypto tracker and DeFi assets tracker. So here's the thing. If you buy any crypto, write it down somewhere. Put it in a safe deposit box or put it in something that you're not going to lose, because literally 10, 15, 20, 30 years later, it could be worth millions of dollars, or at least 10,000. Something that you bought for $5, you'd be like, oh, you just have no idea where you bought it, what you bought. Your phone, your apps that you use, you don't have the phone. All the technology's changed. Nobody's even using apps anymore because it's the future. So you need to write down what you buy and where, so that when the day comes, it's great to track what you have in writing. I like to write, numbers. I don't like to write words, but you need to make sure you know where your stuff is, because so many people have called me and been like, hey, I had about like $200 worth of Bitcoin, 4 years ago. Well, that's worth, I don't know, it's probably worth like $25,000 right now, maybe more. So, this is how it rolls. So you want to keep track of all of your passwords, your seed phrases, your authenticator app. Like when I first did the authenticator app, when I got on KuCoin, I don't know what authenticator app is, I didn't save the private key. I don't know what a private key is. So there's certain funds that I have a hard time getting at because of that. So make sure you just write all these numbers down in the same place, not on one piece of paper here, one piece of paper there. No, write it all down. Make sure you get your money. Put your $5 in, put your $100 in, put your $1,000 in, put your $10,000 in. Not financial advice. Ciao.